Hi, Tim from Proclaim AV, and today we're in the Proclaim AV shop, and I wanted to take a look at the Behringer CT-200 professional 8-in-1 cable tester. I had a viewer a while ago who asked me a question about it. Now, I've already done a review on the CT100, and so you can see that video. I'll link it at the end of this video. So let's take a look at this and see, is it worth buying? Is it better than the other one? Let's check it out. Okay, so here's the CT200, and we're going to plug a bunch of different cables into it and do some testing on it. Let's go over a couple of the buttons here. On this side is the mode button, and when you flip that switch up one, you'll go into the cable tester mode. If you go up one more, you'll go into the test tone phantom mode. Okay. Now there are additional modes here. You can see where it says installed and high-low and option here. And so if you want to go into, let's say, installed mode, hold down the option button and flip it up, and you'll be in installed mode. And you can see that the installed is blinking. Instead of just being a regular power on like here, it's blinking, letting you know it's in installed mode. We'll show you the high-low here in a second for the option. Now, in installed mode, you can use a shorting jack. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but if you go back and watch the CT100 video, I'll show you how the shorting jack works. But basically, it's an XLR plug that has all three pins shorted together, and that's how that works. And the installed mode on this works in the same way. So let's take a look at a couple of different cables that this will test. So let's put it in cable mode. The first one we're going to do is a USB. This is what I call the printer cable. I think it's USB-B. If you guys know, throw it down in the comments. I'm not going to look it up right now. I think this is on here, honestly, because a lot of USB interfaces used to use this cable. And so anyway, you'll notice that everything's flashing and unhappy. There's an intermittent light. Well, that happens when you plug something in. So hit the reset button. And now that you're done, like plugging it in and sort of making an intermittent connection when you plug, which is what happens. You try plugging it into the unit, and that makes an intermittent connection. You'll see that we have passed that this is a shielded cable, so the ground shield is fine, and that the power on. Oh, sorry, we know it's powered on. 4 connectors on the outside, 4 connectors on the inside, and they're all good to go. Cool. Anytime you test and you plug something in, you want to hit the reset button just to make sure that that intermittent wasn't just you plugging something into the tester. On this side, too, we have, what do we have? Oh, 1/8" stereo. Let's plug that guy in here. Hit our reset button, and there you can see we have 3 pins and 3 pins, and the cable has passed the little green light on the bottom left. So that's good. On the other side here, what do we have? We've got RCA. So let's try an RCA cable. It'll only do one side at a time, and that should be 2 conductor. And there we go. 2 conductor, 2 conductor, and both sides are fine, and the cable has passed. So there we go. Next is the good old RJ45 or network cable. So we'll just click those guys in there. And there we can see 8 pins, 8 pins. Everything has passed. Nothing is shorted or crossed. All good. So that's awesome. I do not have a 5-pin MIDI cable. Honestly, I do not do that much stuff with MIDI, but this will test a 5-pin MIDI, just like the CT100 will. Okay, now we're down to XLR, so let's try that. Okay, and I plugged it decisively enough that it didn't show as intermittent. We can see that there's 3 conductors in, 3 conductors out, and that has passed as well. Now, there are 2 cables on here, or 2 connections on here that honestly I'm not very happy about the testing capabilities of. The first one is TS, tip sleeve. So like a 2-conductor 1/4 inch. And tip sleeve, really, like that's a 2-conductor 1/4 inch cable. But even after reset, this keeps flashing 3131 shorted. Well, it will, because it's a TS cable. And what's happening is the sleeve is really long because there's no ring. And the contactor that's supposed to touch the ring is also touching the sleeve. So it's shorted, so showing that the sleeve is shorted to the ring. I can kind of maybe figure that out, but I wish they had built this differently so that if you were doing a TS cable, which seems pretty common to me, if you are using any kind of electric instrument, like a guitar, like that's going to be a TS cable. Why won't this test that? I don't know. So what is it set up to test instead of TS? Well, the answer is TRS. This is my fake TRS cable because it's just two XLR to TRS adapters plugged together, but it won't matter. But TRS, where you've actually got a ring on here. So tip, ring, sleeve. So let's try that. Reset. And then we get a pass result. I really think that there ought to be some way for you to test a TS cable on this. And I suppose by process of elimination you could figure it out, but it just is not showing up here for some reason, which to me is a bit annoying. And then the other one will be the speakon. Now, because this is set up to do 4-conductor and 2-conductor speakon, I have a 2-conductor cable here because I think that's probably what most of you are using. You're not doing specialty 4-conductor. You're just doing 2-conductor. And this just says 3-4 are open. Now, what it doesn't say by omission is that 1 and 2 are fine. Otherwise, it would give some sort of complaint. It would say like 1, 2 shorted, 1, 2 crossed or something. So they are fine, but it doesn't really tell you that. It just tells you what's wrong. And that's going to be confusing, especially every time you plug it in, you got to remember, oh yeah, this is only telling me that 3, 4 aren't connected. Well, of course they're not, because this is a 2-conductor cable, but it can't tell the difference. Now there is a manual mode. So if I'm in this mode and I hold this down for 2 seconds, I will get that blink, blink, and then I can go through the options, or I can go through each error one at a time. 3 and 3, 4. But why on earth didn't they let you see the positive side of this? Like, shouldn't I be seeing like 1, 2 pass, or 1, 1 pass, 2, 2 pass, 3, 3 open, 4, 4 open? Wouldn't that make sense? Well, no, it doesn't do that. It doesn't tell you what's right with this cable if you're using what I would consider a pretty standard cable. So that kind of bugs me about this. Now, let's look at some other things that this does. We already talked about the good old installed mode. So let's go up here to test tone phantom mode. And I have this coming from my little Yamaha mixer with some phantom power on it from the mic pre. So let's just plug that in. And you'll see there's a phantom light lit up. So you know you're getting phantom power. It's anything over 9 volts. This will detect as phantom power on your line. So that just plugs into the output side, because a mic cable is going to be going that direction where it's the output. So, and then let me move a couple other things around here. And then this has a test tone mode. So we'll plug this in to right now it's on low. And it's on -50. We'll put up to 4 here, and then we'll bring up the fader because this is plugged into my Rodecaster so you can hear it. Okay, that's a little rough. Now we can go down to -10, not much change, then -50, which is mic level. And then if you hit the option button here, which indicates your high-low option, you get a high tone test tone, which also does the different levels. And you can switch it back to low. Okay. So, those are all the features of this CT200. So what's my opinion? Do I like it better than the CT100? And you can see by the face of this CT100, maybe, it's a little wear and tear. I carry it with me in my troubleshooting gear. It has been a very reliable unit. Let's just try something here. One of my complaints about the TS on the 200 was that I can't tell what's happening. Well, it's a reset. And if you want to know how to run this guy, go over to the other video. I'll link it at the end here. At least here, I can see by looking at this that pin 1 is good to pin 1, pin 2 is good to pin 2, and pin 3 is good to pin 3. I'm showing shortages here like this, like pin 3, is shorted to pin 2. I don't even care about that. At least I can see that all these connections are fine, and I can wiggle them, and I could even maybe get an intermittent light if I did that. So at least I can look at this one and tell, even though it is wired for TRS, ideally, so if we put TRS into it, you can see that it's showing tip ring is all good without shorts because, the sleeve isn't touching. And here, look, it even says sleeve, tip, ring. So I know what everything is up and down. So even though it's really not wired for TS, I can at least know what I'm looking at with the cable tester. This one, I feel like it's not really telling me anything. It's just showing that maybe my brain's not wired that way. Maybe I like the visual. I don't know. So what do I think? Would I switch if I were carrying one around? Let me say what. I am not going to carry this around. Sorry. Here's another thing that I love about the 100. It's got a clip on the back. I can clip it onto my go bag. I am not going to switch. I don't think. I am not that impressed. I already have a network cable tester as part of my go bag. It's an independent one. So I just don't feel like it's worth changing over. So there you go. There's my opinion. CT200 is a fine cable tester if you have one. But I still prefer the 100. So I hope that helps you decide which cable tester you think will work better for your application, whether you like the CT200 or if maybe you want to go back to the 100 or stick with the 100 or look for something else entirely. Anyway, thanks for watching.